All right, everybody, welcome back. We are officially done with 2024, and that means it's time for everybody's favorite video. Which watches did I wear the most over 2024? Try to get my top 10, but unfortunately I just own too many watches, so I'm gonna do my top 12, and I'm also gonna include one that I'm wearing currently, which is my Timex Q Snoopy. And with that, we will jump right in. Well, let's start off with the watch I wore the most over 2024, and that is my Grand Seiko SBGA 203 that I picked up in Tokyo earlier this year in March. So when I went to Tokyo, I was running around town like an absolute lunatic to every single watch shop I could find, because Japan is just a absolute like Disney World for watch geeks. There's just so many watch shops and everything is so cheap compared to the US with the yen conversion and everything. But I looked at so many watches that I got kind of overwhelmed. And by the time I needed to head to the airport, I still hadn't bought anything. So I had about 2 hours left. I said, what the hell? I'll go to Ginza, to the flagship Wako Grand Seiko store under the big Seiko clock tower, and see what I can get. And this watch normally in the US is like $5,500, and I think I got it right around 3,000 in Japan. You absolutely have to see these watches in person to really get an idea of what they represent and just the quality that's there. I do not own another watch in my collection that is anywhere near as nice as this Grand Seiko. The looks, the finishing, the weight, the feel, the bracelet. I know a lot of people online will talk crap about the Grand Seiko bracelets, but this is hands down absolutely number one, my favorite bracelet in my collection. Nothing wears quite as nice as this bracelet. We've got the super low profile clasp and just the overall bracelet design. I just cannot get enough of this watch. This is hands down the number one watch that I go to pick up every day. If I'm not sure what watch I'm wearing this watch. This watch just looks great, it feels great, it has the quality and the finishing, but it also can be dressed down and be a sporty everyday watch. This absolutely has to be on your radar for your next watch purchase. With that, we'll move on to my number 2 most worn watch of 2024. The second most worn watch in my collection in 2024 has to be this Hamilton Khaki Field Murph. The Murph, of course, is the watch featured in the movie Interstellar, but this one is the 38 millimeter and it comes on the bracelet. The Murph was originally offered in 42 millimeters with a black leather strap. And then as of about 2 months ago, they started offering it in 38 millimeters with a black and white dial and also on this bracelet for the black dial. So I was in a authorized dealer. It was a Bentbridge here in the Seattle area. And I was actually looking at a Grand Seiko, but they didn't have it in stock. And I was like, okay, well, I came here to buy a watch, so I'm going to leave with something. And this had just come out. I had not seen it yet. And I didn't really think I was going to like the Murph. I was never really a fan of the Murph, but this is just a perfect everyday watch. Field watches in general, black dial watches in general, great everyday watches, especially on the bracelet. This is just a great pick up and go second choice if my Grand Seiko is not the right fit. So if I want to dress down more casual from the Grand Seiko, I grab this Hamilton. This is definitely the number 2 watch of the year. This one sent me back about $900. Well worth it, in my opinion. Definitely check these out if you have an AD in your area. And with that, we'll move on to the third watch. So my third most worn watch has to be the Omega Seamaster Railmaster. This is part of the Aquaterra line, kind of, in that it has the same case and bracelet, although this one is fully brushed, no high polish anywhere. The Railmaster, unfortunately, did get discontinued this year, which is part of the reason I bought it last year, is I knew it was going away. And also just the blue denim dial is insane. This is a great casual everyday watch. It doesn't have a date, and I'm not too crazy about this clasp, but just the overall look of the watch and the dial, I cannot get enough of this watch. This is the only modern Omega that I own, and that it has a coaxial movement. The modern Omega line just does not really appeal to me too much, but this watch, to me, is a special watch. I do have some things I might have changed, if there was going to be a second iteration of this watch, but overall, just a great everyday watch, and I wear this one quite a bit, which makes it my third most worn watch of 2024. And with that, we'll move on to the fourth. So my fourth most worn watch of the year is my Mito Multifort TV Date. So this is a watch I picked up at the airport in Shanghai. And while I was in Shanghai, everywhere I went, I kept seeing advertisements for the Mito Multifort, this watch specifically. I don't know why, but this watch just kept popping up everywhere we went, and kind of stuck with me. I had known about the watch, obviously. It had been around for a while, but on my way out through the airport, they had a duty-free store, and this watch is about $1,000 on the bracelet, and I was able to get it on a blue rubber strap for about 700. And then I ordered the bracelet from Mito directly, which was about $130 on top of that. So I think I made out okay. I have the blue rubber strap, which, you know, I don't really wear. I prefer the bracelet, the butterfly clasp and everything. I didn't know too much about the brand before I bought this watch, but I really like this design, the kind of square look to it. Funny enough, I did actually get asked at my authorized dealer in my area if I was wearing a Patek Cubitus, which had just come out like a week prior. And of course, I was like, buddy, I'm wearing Costco head to toe. What do you, you think I could afford a Patek? I don't think so. Now, my fifth most worn watch is not going to be that exciting. It is my G-Shock Square. This is just my grab and go. Anytime I'm going to do anything outside, remotely athletic, I'm swinging a hammer, getting dirty, going to the lake, whatever, this is the watch I grab. If I don't want to scratch a nice watch up or, you know, just get it stolen or lost, whatever, this is the watch I grab, and therefore it is one of my most popular watches of the year because I do wear it quite a bit. And I'm just going to include another watch right alongside it, which is a Casio. This is my Royale that I took with me specifically for my trip to Asia. It's actually still on the Taipei time zone. I haven't really worn it since then, but I wanted to keep track of the different times when I was in China and Japan and track my home time zone as well. And so that's where this one came in handy. This watch, for the price point, is absolutely clutch. I don't think that there's a watch out there really that gets you as much value as this watch does. And on top of that, I got this Vario leather strap as well, which I think was like 30 bucks. Just really classed it up a lot. This is just a great little watch, especially for the money. And with that, we'll move on to the next watch. So my sixth most worn watch of the year is my Erebus Origin. And if you followed the channel, I did a review on the Erebus Origin earlier in the year, but that watch was actually the Erebus Origin 41, and this is not that watch. This is the Erebus Origin 38. And so in that video review I had mentioned that I think the Erebus Origin would be perfect in a smaller size, like a 38 or a 39. There just was something not quite right about the 41 that wasn't hitting it for me, and I nailed it absolutely. Once again, the 38 is a perfect size for this watch. This watch just wears so much better in 38 millimeters, especially on me. And I've got a 17 centimeter wrist, which is just above 6.5 inches, but this watch is well balanced, fits great, just an absolutely awesome little dive watch. The legibility, the contrast to the white dial, this watch stands out. I get a lot of compliments on this one as well. I would have preferred maybe a smaller clasp, but this 38 millimeter Erebus Origin has made its way into my rotation quite a bit this year, and that's why I'm showing it here. And with that, we move on to the seventh most worn watch of 2024. My seventh most worn watch of the year is my Seiko Manhattan. This watch is actually from 1976, and it is in killer shape considering it's almost 50 years old. It has this nice rectangular TV style dial, and just absolutely killer looks. I don't own another watch quite like this, and there really isn't anything on the market today that I know of that kind of gives off this, aura of cool. The dial with the hour markers and everything is just so cool to me. I really cannot get enough of this watch. I wear it quite a bit, especially I just love the shape this thing is in considering when it came out and how old it is. The bracelet is, definitely classic 70s stuff. Not my favorite bracelet in the world, but it's actually not too bad. It's pretty comfortable. You use these weird, removals instead of pins and collars or whatever. You got to do these, gymnastics to get this thing sized. So that was fun. I also just had to clean it quite a bit because it was fairly gnarly when I first got it. But overall, I think I paid 200 bucks for this, and I would pay for it again. I wear this watch all the time. I know that their waterproofing probably isn't there anymore, and I need to be a little bit more careful when I wear it. I'm not even sure if I can get this thing serviced at this point, but I do wear it quite a bit, and I really like the look of it. So with that, we will move on to the eighth most worn watch of the year. So my eighth most worn watch is actually a very odd one from AliExpress. This is the Ixtao Engineer. Now this watch is kind of funny. They got in trouble, I think, when they first came out with this watch because it is more or less a clone of the IWC Engineer, which is a $13,000 watch. And I got this one with a PT 5000 movement inside for about $300. You can get it with a Sellita SW200 or an ETA 2824 if you would like. And that bumps it up a bit. I think they're like $500 if you get the ETA. But the watch just looks incredible to me. And I've tried on the IWC at the boutique, and I think I love that watch. It is a great looking watch, don't get me wrong, but after wearing this for the money I paid, I really don't think I could ever spend that much on an IWC. If that watch was, say, $6,000 or $7,000 even, I might consider getting the real thing, because this is a absolutely killer watch. I love the bracelet, the look of it, the color, the dial, everything. But to say, $13,000 for a 70s reissue IWC is kind of crazy. It is Gerald Jensen design. Everyone loves those. I really like the way this watch wears. The case shape and everything, more or less identical to the IWC. There are some differences in the ways that the bracelet's polished and all that. It's actually funny too. I think the clasp is better on this watch than it is on the IWC. You'd have to try them on both to really know what I'm saying, but the clasp is the only thing I can say might be better on this watch, which probably sacrilege to say that. Maybe I shouldn't, but I think they're cool. And that's why I wore this one quite a bit. All right, we'll move on to the 9th most worn watch. Next watch up is the watch I wore the most over the summer, and that is my Mr. Jones watch, Miss Pose. This is a cat and mouse type watch designed by a young woman that was inspired by the Christoph Devos design, Perfectly Useless Afternoon. So this watch is, obviously just an orange cat for the hour hand, and then the mouse is the minute hand. So right now it's 3:25-ish. So this watch just, I don't know, super casual, fun watch. I have an orange cat. I've actually got 2 orange cats. So this one spoke to me, and I wore this one quite a lot over the summer. People did ask me if I'm actually able to read the time on it. It does take me a minute to kind of figure out what time it is usually. There's not even really any hour markers to reference the way that there are on even the Perfectly Useless Afternoon, but still one of my most worn watches for the summer. And I got a soft spot for Mr. Jones watches. So with that, we'll move on to the 10th most worn watch. Next watch up is my Brew Retrograph. I picked this one up when it first came out, probably 2-3 months ago. This is the second Retrograph I've owned. It's actually the 5th Brew watch that I've owned. I really love Brew as a brand. This is the design of the case and everything, and the story behind it. I met the founder, Jonathan, back at Wind Up Watch Fair in San Francisco earlier this year. I think it was April. And super nice guy. I bought a couple watches from him there. And I just cannot get enough of this brand. I give them away as gifts. Typically, if I need to give a watch away to somebody, I will buy them a Brew. My brother owns a coffee shop. I gave him the Metric Retro for obvious reasons there. My cousin is really a big fan of the Monaco and F1 and all that. So I got him the Retrograph that kind of looks like a Tag Monaco. But this one is a full lume dial and just kind of a classy retro looking watch. My wife likes this one the most for sure. Every time I wear this, I get compliments from her and from others on it. But yeah, everyone seems to love these watches. They wear really well on me. They really deserve their own video, which I probably should do at some point. But yeah, really love Brew as a brand. And so for that, this one got heavily worn after I purchased it. And with that, we will move into the final watch of 2024. If you watched last year's video, you'll recognize this one, but it is my Seiko SSC 813 speed timer. Just an absolutely classic design. It's a Saytona. In fact, I actually did have one person ask me if it was a Daytona, and I had to tell him no, unfortunately it is a Seiko. But this is a watch that my wife bought me, and I will never sell. And on the strap, it really wears quite a bit better than it did on the bracelet. And I wish I'd worn it more this year. For some reason, I didn't. I mean, I had a lot of new watches, so I guess that's probably why. But this watch got worn, about once a month, I'd say, at least. And I should probably wear it more. I absolutely love this watch. This is a really great model, the SSC 813. And there's a few other speed timer models that are coming out that look really nice. But this is definitely one of my favorite Seikos that I own. And so that's pretty much it. That's how we're wrapping up 2024. I don't really know what 2025 is going to look like, but I know that I'm going to be doing a lot more unboxings and reviews for you guys. I haven't done enough on the channel this year. I took quite a bit of time. I got super busy and crazy with work and stuff, and obviously traveling internationally and things like that. But I will pull all my watches into frame here so we can take a look at them. And I should be hopefully uploading a watch video once a week at this point moving forward. I've got plenty in the catalog that I have been working on and not uploaded, and there's obviously just plenty of watches that I haven't done a full review on. Some of them are on this table, but there's some that I haven't even really opened yet. So with that, that's where I'm going to leave today. Let me know in the comments what watch was your favorite that I wore in 2024, or on this table rather. And then what watch do you think I should pick up next? Is there a watch out there that I just don't know about that you think I really need to buy? Let me know. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a great new year, had a great holiday season, and I'll see you in the next one.